Hi guys, here is the little video you were asking me for about my pedal, bass drum and trigger setup. So let's talk about the bass drum angle, which is really important for me. You can change it with those little spikes right here. My personal taste is to have the bass drum angle at 12 o'clock. It's really important for me because when you're hitting the bass drum, the beater is really straight when he's hitting the bass drum, is not going forward or backward. Let's talk about skin tension. So my personal taste is to have it in the middle because this way I have some rebound and I keep some good acoustic sound. Inside the bass drum I do not put that much stuff. I just put generally one pillow, and I really care about the fact that the pillow is touching the skin. For the skin I use Evans Imed 2 because it gives me a more controlled and punchy sound. Let's talk about my drum pedals. I use Axis longboards since a couple of years now. So for the beaters I use pearl beaters. I add some weight in the middle of the beater. And as you can see, my beater is not super high, but I prefer it this way because it gives me more control and power. For the beater angle, I don't know the exact distance of my beaters, but when I received the Axis, the angle was set up this way and I didn't change it. For the spring tension, as you can see, it's set up in the middle because this way I have control, power and speed. For drum triggers I use Axis E-Kit that I found easier to set up, especially when you use only one bass drum. Here is a good tips for Axis hammer. You can put some tape on the spring. This way you will solve some double triggering problems. When I use double bass, I use this little metal part with some spikes on it, and this way it keeps my pedals from moving. As you can see, my pedals are set up pretty straight. And for the link bar in between the pedals, I try to keep it as short as possible. I think this way you save a lot of energy, and when you set up your pedals this way, there's nearly no difference between the main pedal and the slave pedal. On both pedals, the VDL is in the middle. I call this setup the 50% setup. It's a good way to remember your own setup. It works really great for me, but not sure it's gonna work for you. Everyone is different, so everyone has different setup. But for me it's really easy. For the skin tension of the bass drum, it's in the middle. The spring tension is in the middle. The beaters are not too low, not too high, and the VDL is in the middle. Those are the main characteristics of your own setup, and mine are at 50%. So let's talk about my drum trigger. I use the Roland TM2. So as you can see, the volume is nearly at the max. So for the input I use head and rim. The type of trigger, the E-Kit do not exist, so I use the Roland RT10K. The sensitivity I put it at 1 because with the E-Kit it's not really important. For the threshold it's pretty high, 15. The curve is linear. Retrigger cancelling is pretty high also, at 10. Rim, not, and this one also, the X-Torque cancel, is at 50%. Both sides are set up the same way, and I use the SD card port to use my own sample. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sure those advices and tips will help you to set up your pedals and trigger. But I don't want you to forget that a good technique will do 99% of the job.